closer to the end line than the sideline, you're going to go to 3 feet outside the lane line. And anything in the free throw semicircle will go to the end line.
Okay.
There's an imaginary line.
From the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, you're watching exclusive coverage of the 2019 Women's Home Opening Basketball Game right here on CSI Sportsnet. This afternoon, the College of Staten Island will take on the William Paterson Pioneers as they open up their 2019 home season and look to bounce back against a tough loss against New Haven over the weekend. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Babuski here for another edition of CSI basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet as the College of Staten Island gets ready to kick off their 2019-2020 home opener here against William Paterson. The College of Staten Island went up to New Haven on Saturday and led at halftime before ultimately dropping a 68-57 game against New Haven. It was a game, like we mentioned, that CSI went into halftime with a lead. They really did that on the strength of their free throw shooting in that first half, and the Dolphins were able to go in with a three-point lead, but second half struggle shooting from the field really came back to bite the Dolphins in the second half. And, you know, other than being able to score from the free throw line where the Dolphins finished 23 of 27, the Dolphins were only able to shoot 14 of 50 from the field in that game and ended up dropping their first game of the year. So Dolphins will look to bounce back, I should say, against a William Paterson Pioneer team that the Dolphins have been able to handle in the last couple of years as they've been able to win their last two games, winning 71-56 last year on the road at William Paterson and winning 79-58 in the 2017-2018 season. New year for the Dolphins under second-year head coach Nicole Sarcone. Dolphins looking for big things during their transitional season into Division II, and a good opportunity for the Dolphins to get underway here on the road. This will be their one of two home games to take place in November, the other November 23rd against Post University. And in between this game, the Dolphins will travel up to southern New Hampshire over the weekend to play Southern New Hampshire on Sunday afternoon at 1:30 as the Dolphins start to inch their way along this 2019-2020 season. So game number 2 for the Dolphins. For the men's team, they opened up the season with an exhibition game against Fordham, which they went up to Fordham and dropped a 91-65 game in that scrimmage. Dolphins heading down to Florida. They'll play Nova Southeastern University tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and then Friday play Barry University down on Miami Shores. So a couple of nice warm games and a couple of nice weather games for the Dolphins. Then the Dolphins will also go up to southern New Hampshire this Sunday to play the second game of that doubleheader, the women opening against southern New Hampshire in game number 1. And then the men will be here for 4 consecutive home games beginning on November 20th and running through December 3rd. So November 20th, we'll bring you the home season opener against New York Tech at 7 o'clock right here at the Tank at the College of Staten Island. For the women, we mentioned earlier, they're coming off of that tough loss. They really struggled shooting the ball. As we mentioned, Diana Tadero getting in foul trouble, and she ended up fouling out of that game in just 15 minutes of playing time. And, the Dolphins really weren't able to find their shooting stroke in the game. And, that's something that the Dolphins are really going to need to improve on in the 2019 season, and, something they struggled a lot with during the course of the 2018-19 season. Dolphins coming off of a 19-8 win last year, and before ultimately dropping their game in the CUNYAC semifinals against number 2 seed Brooklyn College by a final score of 70-52. So for the Dolphins here in 2019, they're going to be looking to returning players such as Megan McEwen and Diana Tadero, and now Kayla Schmidt in her second year to provide that experience and leadership for the team. And, you go down the remaining part of the roster, not that many other returning players for the Dolphins this year. Elena DiMancho will return. Troy Moylan will return. And Bria Rubinski and Lena Patar, players that didn't really start last year but did at times play very significant minutes. And those are players that the Dolphins are going to be looking for big production out of this year. The Dolphins will return Megan McEwen this year. Megan averaging just under 15 points a game last year. She also averaged just under 4 rebounds and also did a good job distributing the basketball for the Dolphins, leading the team with 89 assists, and that's something that they're going to be looking more from Megan this year. And Diana Tadero also returning. Diana was the leading rebounder on the 2018-19 Dolphins, as well as second in scoring, and the Dolphins are looking for big production for her. And, of course, Kayla Schmidt back now for her sophomore year, had a very strong freshman year for the Dolphins, as she was able to come in third in scoring on the team, averaging just below 10 points and just over 6 rebounds a game. So the Dolphins getting a lot of production out of those 3 players, and players that they're going to be looking for extended production here this year. William Paterson, they will be opening their 2019-2020 season here this afternoon, their first game of the year for the Pioneers. The Pioneers coming off of a mixed season in 2018-2019, finishing the year 12-13, including an 8-10 record inside the NJAC conference, and ultimately their season ended when they dropped a game against the College of New Jersey, 68-48 on the road. So just about 4 minutes and 20 seconds until the start of the opening tip. We'll step aside, take a break. We'll be back. We'll get you the starting lineups and get you ready for the start of this home opener here at the Tank at the College of Staten Island, as you're watching women's basketball coverage exclusively on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Anne. I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me
And me.
help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android.
This is awesome.
You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
We're back here at the tank for the 2019 Women's Home Opener between the College of Staten Island and William Paterson University. The teams have warmed up, and we've had the national anthem played. So now let's bring you the starting lineups for each team, starting with the visiting William Paterson Pioneers. The Pioneers playing their first game of the year here in 2019 and coming in with a record last year of 12-13 overall. The College of Staten Island met William Paterson last year in their home opener, and the Dolphins were victorious by a final score of 71-56. So the starting lineup for the Pioneers: number 1, Alyssa Giordano; number 11, Yakira Rosa; number 12, Danica DeFrank; number 33, Brianna Brooks, and number 34, Bianca Soriano. For the home College of Staten Island, it'll be number 1, Megan McEwen. Number 10, freshman Jada Rogers will make her College of Staten Island home debut here this afternoon. Number 11, Troy Moylan. Number 13, Diana Tadaro. And number 25, Kayla Schmidt, the College of Staten Island, coached by Nicole Sarcone in her second year as head coach of the Dolphins. Aaron Monahan, the head coach of the William Paterson Pioneers. So we expect a good game here tonight. The Dolphins continuing with their transition into the Division II conference. And you can see the Dolphins adding some interesting games on their schedule this year against teams that they haven't played before. Southern New Hampshire, Post University, New York Tech, all on the schedule. Malloy also on the schedule. Cabrini, another tough game for the Dolphins. And then as we head into January, the Dolphins really will play a heavy CUNYAC schedule through January and February. The Dolphins will be in the standings, but will not be a participant in the CUNYAC conference, either on the men's or the women's side in basketball or any other sport here in 2019, 2020. So the Dolphins going to come out, and again, like the soccer team and some of the other teams we watched earlier, it really makes every game they play a playoff game and really adds importance to every game, because Dolphins now looking to win as many games as possible. And, you know, you look out on the floor here for the Dolphins, you see a little bit of experience out there with Megan McEwen out on the floor for the Dolphins. Troy Moylan got some significant minutes last year, as did Kayla Schmidt. And then you have Diana Tadaro, the only senior in the starting lineup for the Dolphins here this afternoon, and freshman number 10, Jada Rogers. So it'll be interesting to see how this unit gels here this afternoon. Jumping for the Pioneers will be Bianca Soriano. She will jump against Kayla Schmidt. We have a little bit of a whistle, and we also have some rule changes that have gone into effect here for the men and women's basketball season that we will discuss where we have an opportunity along the way. So the tip controlled by the Pioneers, and Giordano with the basketball. Giordano looking to work against McEwen as a pair of number ones look to start this opening sequence here. Now it's Rosa on the outside. Rosa working the ball back out over to Giordano. Now Soriano worked it over to Brooks. Brooks able to drive down the lane, but we're going to have a whistle and an offensive foul. So that time, Brianna Brooks went to the basket strong, but she picked up the offensive foul, and the basket will not count. So the Dolphins will take the basketball out on the first turnover by the Pioneers. Pioneers coming out and showing press immediately, as now it's McEwen bringing the ball up across the midcourt line. McEwen now over to Rogers. Back to Schmidt. She's out behind the three-point line, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the ball. And that's going to be on Bianca Soriano. So 2 quick personal fouls picked up here by William Paterson in the opening 40 seconds of play. So the Dolphins will inbound the basketball. Rogers inbounds out over to McEwen as the Dolphins work the basketball now with 13 seconds remaining on the shot clock. It's going to be last touch by Rogers, so the Dolphins turn the ball over as well. So the teams will exchange turnovers on their first possession. Rosa. Now over in the corner to Soriano. Bounce pass out over to Rosa. As the Pioneers now down to 12 on the shot clock. A drive down the lane, and we're going to have a whistle, and this time we're going to have a blocking foul on the Dolphins. So for the second consecutive possession, the Pioneers have brought the ball hard to the basket. One time resulted in an offensive foul, and this time it's going to result on a foul on the Dolphins, and that will be a foul on Diana Tadaro. That will be the first foul on Diana, and that will send Dianca DeFrank to the free throw line where she hits the first. DeFrank not on the Pioneer roster last year, so this was her first free throw. And she splits the pair in the rebound grab by Tadero. Moylan brings the ball up the floor and now hands off to McEwen. McEwen over to Moylan. Pioneers doing a good job defensively on the Dolphins. Now inside to Tadero. She looks to pass the ball across the floor, but instead she'll turn the ball over. So the Dolphins' first 2 possessions have resulted in 2 turnovers, and it will be Pioneer basketball. Giordano over to Rosa. Rosa driving inside, kicks the ball out to Brooks. She works the ball back out over to DeFrank. Her long jumper is no good, and McEwen with the basketball now for the Dolphins. Megan working the ball out in the corner to Moylan. Back to McEwen. Her open three-pointer is no good, but Tadero's there to grab the rebound. She can't finish, and now she'll draw the foul. So a nice play that time by Tadero. I think she had a little more space and time than she might have thought, and instead she puts up the shot and then draws the foul, and it looks like it's going to be a non-shooting foul. The foul will be on DeFrank, and now the Pioneers with 3 fouls so far in this first quarter through 2 minutes of play. Dolphins fortunate, had trouble with the inbounds. The ball knocked out of bounds, so it'll remain Dolphin basketball with 17 on the shot clock. Moylan looking to inbound. She gets it up to Schmitter. Her short jumper in the lane is up, no good. And the rebound grab by DeFrank. DeFrank over to Soriano. She works the ball back out over to Giordano. Pioneers passing the ball quickly on this possession. Rosa driving down the lane. That shot's no good. And there Moylan is there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins. Tadero now over to Schmitter as McEwen tries to set the Dolphins up offensively with 15 on the shot clock. Rogers, the long jumper is up, no good. As the Dolphins looking to hit their first shot of the game as Giordano drives down the lane. Her shot is no good. Soriano fighting for the rebound. Play is on the floor. Giordano now working the ball out over in the corner to Rosa. Her shot is up, no good, but she'll draw the foul. So Tadero will pick up her second personal foul in less than 3 minutes. And in the game against New Haven on Saturday, she fouled out of the game in just 15 minutes of play. So the Dolphins need to find a way to keep Diana out on the floor. She'll have to come to the side. And we're going to have a 30-second timeout, so we're going to keep it right here as Diana Tadero has to check out of the game now with a couple of personal fouls here early in the first quarter. Just 3 points scored in this game, all from the free throw line. As the Dolphins looking for their first basket of the afternoon. 5 fouls already through 3 minutes of play. 3 on the Pioneers, 2 on the Dolphins. Both Dolphin fouls, shooting fouls, and the Pioneers have been able to hit 3 of their 4 free throws here so far in the first quarter. So the Dolphins will bring out Christina Avello will check into the game for the Dolphins as Tadero will go to the bench, and that makes a small Dolphin team a little bit smaller. McEwen now working the ball up over to Avello. Now it's Schmitter at the top of the key, all the way in the corner now to McEwen. 8 seconds on the shot clock. McEwen drives down the lane. Her shot's an air ball, and the rebound grab by Rosa. And here comes Giordano looking to run. Giordano's floater in the lane is up, no good. And Schmitter there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins. Avello hands off to McEwen. She thought about the three-pointer. Now getting the ball out over to Rogers. McEwen back to Rogers now with 15 to shoot for the Dolphins. Avello, the long three-pointer is good. Christina Avello, the 5'4" freshman for Astoria, gets our first basket of the afternoon, and the Dolphins tie the game up at 3. Christina hit 3 of 6 of her three-pointers on Saturday, so the freshman showing the ability to shoot the ball deep from the three-point line. Giordano kicking the ball out to Rosa. Rosa's long three-pointer is good. Yakira Rosa as the freshmen exchange three-pointers, and the Pioneers now lead by a score of 6-3. Schmitter working the ball out over to McEwen. McEwen pressed closely there by Giordano. Now works the ball out over to Arvello. Arvello looking to work against the Frank. Arvello behind the bank dribble. Passes the ball out now to Moylan. Now it's McEwen with 3 on the shot clock, and she's going to get called for the travel. Third Dolphin turnover here halfway through this first quarter, as the Dolphins are going to substitute 4 players here at the break. Deidre Forster will check into the game along with Lola Palenko. Denise Priolo will check into the game, and she'll join Kristen Arvello out on the floor along with Ilana DeMontro. Soriano, bounce pass goes over the corner. She gets the ball back, trying to fight her way inside. Now they work the ball over to Delude, whose long jumper is good. Madison Delude, the freshman with the jumper, and the Pioneers have their biggest lead of the game. It's 8-3. Another turnover there by the Dolphins, as the Pioneers drive down the lane but miss the layup. That time Rosa was able to get the ball inside but couldn't convert the layup. And now it's Forster with the ball for the Dolphins over to Palenko. Forster, that jumper is up no good, and the rebound is grabbed there by Brooks, who gets the ball out over to Rosa. Giordano working the ball in the corner to Delude. Her three-pointer is up no good. Grabbing the rebound is Brianna Brooks, but she put her arm on the back of Forster, and she'll get called for the loose ball foul. So on Brianna, that's going to be her second foul, the 4th on the Pioneers. And the Dolphins will inbound the basketball as it's Palenko to inbound. As she throws the ball out of bounds, and the Dolphins turn the ball over for the 4th time. Another substitution here is Allison McBride checking into the game for the Pioneers. A lot of substitutes for both teams early in the season, opening night for the Pioneers, game number 2 for the Dolphins. Feed inside to McBride. She kicks the ball out in the corner. That long jumper is up no good, and DeMontro there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins. DeMontro's pass is stolen away. The Dolphins very careless with the basketball as Giordano feeds it ahead of the field to Rosa, who lays it up and in. Dolphins now trail by their biggest margin of the game, 10-3, and we're going to have a full timeout taken by the Dolphins. So we're going to step aside, take a break. 3 minutes, 51 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. With the score, Pioneers 10, Dolphins 3. We'll step aside, take a break. You're watching women's basketball coverage on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. No commercial? Are you? We're back here with 3 minutes and 51 seconds remaining in this first quarter. The Dolphins trail by a score of 10-3. They have just one basket in this game, and that was a three-pointer by Christina Arvello a few minutes ago that tied this game up at 3. Since then, the Pioneers have been on a 7-0 run. And, you know, we mentioned coming in off of the break that, you know, one of the things that the Dolphins really needed to improve on a little bit is their ability to score the basketball. They finished the season averaging 66 points a game last year, but a little bit misleading as the Dolphins really struggled to score points in big games against quality opponents. And now with just 3 points here through the first 6.5 minutes as the Dolphins look to get on track offensively is a beautiful floater in the lane that time by Jada Rogers. Breaks that 7-0 Pioneer run and cuts the Pioneer lead down to 10-5. Giordano with the basketball. Lobs that ball out over to Abreu. Now over back to Giordano. 10 seconds to shoot. The long three-pointer is good. So Madison Dulude with the three-pointer. She's got 5 points since checking into the game. And the Pioneers now lead by a score of 13-5. Whistle away from the ball as McEwen collided with Giordano that time. So that's the 15th foul. And that should be a shooting foul unless I forgot the rules. And it will be, as the Dolphins will go to the free throw line as Dolphins almost inbounded that basketball. But, of course, team foul number 5 will lead to shots for Megan McEwen. She'll have 2. Her first free throw is up and in. Megan, a big game from the free throw line on Saturday against New Haven, 11 of 12 from the line. That's 91%, and now she's hit 2 in a row. So she's now 13 of 14 from the free throw line, and that draws the Dolphins to within 13-7. Rosa. Now Giordano. Giordano working the ball over. Now Dulude with that open three-pointer, and that's good. And Dolphins are going to have to come up and step up on her. She's got 8 points already, and it's a 16-7 lead as that three-pointer is up no good. As McEwen missed that three-pointer, and here come the Pioneers with the basketball and a 9-point lead. They work the ball in the corner that time to Rosa for a three-pointer. That's no good. Dolphins grab the rebound, but that time Polenko turns the ball over, and another shot is up, no good. The rebound grabbed wide open by Jenna Abreu. Schmitter came over and made a nice block on the ball, but she's going to get called for the foul. So Schmitter will pick up the foul. That's the 3rd team foul on the Dolphins, all shooting fouls. As that's going to send Jenna Abreu, another freshman, to the free throw line for the Pioneers, and she misses the first. One more free throw upcoming. As that second free throw is up and in, so she splits the pair. And the Dolphins now find themselves down by 10, 17-7, as the Pioneers have scored the last 4 points. Schmitter able to help the Dolphins break the press as that goes out over to McEwen. Dolphins just 2 of 11 from the field so far here in this first half, and the ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. So it's going to be another turnover now for the Dolphins. Their 7th turnover of the first half compared to just 1 for William Paterson. So the Dolphins really shooting themselves in the foot with turnovers here so far in this first half. Dolphins turn the ball over 26 times in the game against New Haven on Saturday. Is we're going to have a whistle and a foul now called on William Paterson. That's going to be an offensive foul called on Madison Dulude. That's going to be her first. So the Dolphins will inbound now with 1:44 remaining here in this first half. First quarter, I should say. Dolphins nearly turn the ball over. Now they do, as the Pioneers able to work the ball inside. They can't hit their shots. They grab a couple of rebounds, and now it's going to be a jump ball. The possession arrow will give the ball to the Dolphins, but all of a sudden now the Dolphins struggling to rebound the basketball as well. As Dolphins now with the basketball and down by 10. And they've only had 2 baskets from the field so far here in this first half. Rogers looking to drive inside, and we're going to have a whistle on the play. And that's going to be a foul on the Pioneers. That's going to be a foul on Jaquila Etling. And that's going to send Jada Rogers to the line to shoot 2, as her first free throw is no good. Jada went 2 for 4 from the line in her first game, so she's now 2 of 5, and she'll have one more free throw upcoming. Her second free throw is up, no good, so Rogers misses a pair, and the Dolphins down by 10. Eltling with the ball. Now it's Giordano. Giordano driving inside. Schmitter with the block. Ball worked in the corner now to Eltling. Her shot is no good, but once again, the Dolphins cannot grab the rebound as DeLute is there to grab it for William Paterson. Pioneers with the basketball now. Inside a minute remaining as that shot is going to be blocked. And Rogers able to come away with the ball for the Dolphins. Her outlet pass is going to be knocked away by Giordano, but last touch by the Pioneers, so it will be Dolphin basketball with 26 seconds remaining on the shot clock, 41.3 seconds remaining on the game clock. Rogers to inbound for the Dolphins. She now gets the ball out over to Moylan. Moylan driving inside. Nice bounce pass inside to Schmitter. Her shot is up, no good. Her putback is up, no good. So a couple opportunities for Schmitter, but she can't hit. Now Moylan working it out over to McEwen. Now Schmitter with the three-pointer, and that's good. Kayla Schmitter with her first basket of the game, and that gets the Dolphins back to within 7, 17-10. Shot clock is off now with 11 seconds remaining in the first half. Ball worked in the corner. That shot is up no good that time as Abreu put that shot up very early with 6 seconds remaining, but the Dolphins cannot grab the rebound. It'll be knocked out of bounds. So it'll remain Pioneer basketball now with 6 seconds remaining to shoot. A couple of substitutes for the Pioneers here for the last 6 seconds. The long shot is going to be partially deflected, nearly knocked out of bounds. Schmitter there to grab it, and that's going to do it. 1 quarter in the books. The Dolphins trailed by as many as 10 in this one, but score the last basket of the quarter, so they'll go in to the intermission between quarters number 1 and 2, down by a score of 17-10. So we're going to step aside and take a break. 1 quarter in the books. You're watching women's basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be...
We're back here for quarter number 2. The College of Staten Island trailing in this one by a score of 17-10. Dolphins struggling from the field in that first quarter, shooting just 3 of 14. The Pioneers 5 of 19 in the first quarter. And the Dolphins find themselves down by 7. So the second quarter underway as it's the Pioneers with the basketball, as that's Allison McBride working the ball out over to DeFrank. Now they look to lob the ball to Soriano. Soriano looking to fight her way inside. She's able to kick the ball back out to DeFranco. Short jumper in the lane is no good. And the rebound grab by Moylan. McEwen now working the ball into the forecourt over that time to Arvello. And that time Arvello taking the extra step and gets called for the travel. So Dolphins picking up, unfortunately, where they left off in that first quarter. They had 8 first quarter turnovers compared to just 3 for the Pioneers, and they pick up 1 here to start quarter number 2. McBride with the basketball over to Giordano. She works the ball around the perimeter to Rosa as the Pioneers look to set up now with 12 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Once again, they feed the ball inside. Nice job by the Dolphins, forcing McBride to work the ball out. Now McBride looking to work against Schmidt as she fights her way inside, misses the shot, and McEwen grabs the rebound. Now it's Rogers. Beautiful move inside, and she lays it up and in. Jada Rogers, the first Dolphin of the afternoon, with a couple of baskets here, and the Dolphins have cut the lead down to 5, 17-12, as the Dolphins on a mini 5-0 run of their own. Rosa in the corner, 10 seconds on the shot clock. They try to force the ball inside. We're going to have a whistle and a foul called on the Dolphins. It might be on Moylan. Let's look at the official. It will be. So for Tori, that's going to be her first, and the Dolphins pick up their first team foul here in the second quarter. Soriano gets the ball inside. Her shot is up, no good. And Schmitter fighting with McBride, able to grab the rebound, but that time Rogers' pass is going to be stolen away by Giordano. Dolphins just not doing a good job protecting the basketball so far. As Rosa tries to hand it off, that time to McBride, she misses the layup. Nice job by Schmitter to tap the ball to McEwen. McEwen working the ball over in the corner. That jumper by Arvello is up, no good. And then she compounds it by committing the loose ball foul. So a tough start here in the second quarter for Christina Arvello, picking up the turnover and then the loose ball foul. So for Christina, that's going to be her first foul, and the Dolphins with 2 quick team fouls here in the second quarter. A couple of substitutions out on the floor for the Dolphins. Denise Priello out on the floor, joined by Deidre Forster, as that feed goes right inside to McBride. That time Schmitter went for the steal, and that left the lane for McBride to lay it up and in, breaking that 5-0 Dolphin run and making it a 19-12 William Paterson lead. And we're going to have a whistle and a foul out on the floor, and this is going to be on the Pioneers. It's going to be on Yakira Rosa, and for Yakira, that's going to be her first and the first team foul for the Pioneers here in the second quarter. DeMontro to inbound the basketball, gets it over to McEwen, where she's working on Giordano. McEwen driving across the center of the lane, works it over to Priolo. Her long shot is up, no good, and we're going to have a whistle. And it looks like we're going to have a foul that time as DeMontro went to the basket strong and was knocked down. And we're going to get a foul now that's going to be called on Rosa. So Rosa picks up 2 back-to-back fouls, and now each team with 2 team fouls here in the second quarter. Schmitter, bounce pass over to Forster. And Forster's baseline jumper is good. So Forster with her first basket of the afternoon, and the Dolphins have cut the lead back down to 5, 19-14. That shot's up, no good, and Forster grabs the rebound and feeds it ahead to McEwen. McEwen stops and pops and hits. Megan McEwen with a jumper from just outside the lane, and the Dolphins have now closed the gap to 19-16. Dolphins in the middle of a 9-2 run to cut the lead down to 3. Dulude with the basketball, drives down the lane. That shot's no good. McBride grabs the rebound, and Schmitter gets called for the foul. And that's the second time that Kayla's been called for a personal foul off a block. couple of good-looking blocks, but the official might have saw a little bit of body on that one. And Schmidt will pick up her second and the team's third. So now Schmidt will come over to the bench, and McBride's been looking to work inside against Schmidt, and now with Schmidt on the bench, it'll be interesting to see how the Pioneers look to feed the ball to McBride and how the Dolphins defend it as McBride hits both of her free throws to open up the lead back to 5, 21-16. Pioneers looking to press in the backcourt, and the Dolphins throw it ahead to Rogers. Rogers now working the ball out over to Forster. Now it's McEwen. McEwen looking to drive her way inside. Her layup is up under the rim, no good, and the rebound's grabbed there by DeLude. Now Giordano looking to run. Giordano kicking it out over to DeFrank. Back in the corner to Giordano. Her long jumper is no good, but McBride able to grab the rebound. Her pass is knocked away by DeMontro, but Pioneers able to retrieve. 10 seconds remaining to shoot. Soriano. Bounce pass out now to the three-point line to DeFrank. Her shot is up, no good. But we're going to have a whistle and a three-shot foul called on the Dolphins. So that foul is going to be called on DeMontro. That's going to be her first, the team's fourth. And that's going to send DeFrank to the free throw line now to shoot 2. First free throw is up and in. 2 more upcoming. Second one is up and in. 1 more to go. DeFrank now 3 or 4 from the free throw line. Make that 4 or 5 as the Pioneers up their lead back up to 8, 24-16. DeMontro with the basketball. As she'll now look to set up offensively for the Dolphins. Now it's Rogers. Rogers behind the back dribble. Now feeding the ball out over to Priello, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the play, and that's going to be on the Pioneers. That's going to be on Jenna Abreu, and that's going to be her first, team's third. Dolphins to inbound the basketball now. Looking for somewhere to go. Now they work the ball out in the corner to DeMontro. Long cross-court pass over to Priolo. Her long shot is up, no good. And we're going to have a whistle and a foul inside. And that's going to be a foul on DeLude as she picks up her second, team's fourth. And the Dolphins to inbound underneath the basket. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. It'll remain Dolphin basketball now with 19 seconds to shoot. One of the rule changes that we heard about here right before game time is the resetting of the shot clock to 20, not 30 seconds, as the Dolphins turn the ball over. As Giordano drives down the lane, a layup is up, no good. 3 Dolphins there, but it's DeFrank grabbing rebound after rebound, and she's finally able to put it in as the Dolphins not doing a good job boxing out and just allowing DeFrank to grab the rebound after rebound before laying it up and in. And the Dolphins, who had cut the lead down to 3, 19-16, have now been outscored 7-0. And the Pioneers up their lead back to 10, 26-16. DeMontro with the basketball as she'll look to bring the ball up the floor now for the Dolphins. DeMontro losing possession of the ball as the Dolphins turn it over once again, and they work the ball inside to DeLude, who lays it up and in. She's the first player to double digits as she has 10, and the Pioneers have their biggest lead of the game, 28-16. Long three-pointer taken that time by Priolo. She's knocked to the floor, and this time we'll have a whistle and a foul called on the Pioneers as they pick up their 5th, and they will be over the limit, and that's going to be a big foul because that foul is going to be on Madison DeLude, who's played very well since coming into the game for the Pioneers, but she now has 3 personal fouls as DeMoncho misses her first free throw. Elena did not go to the free throw line in the Dolphin opener, so I'm sorry, that was Priolo. As she misses the second, she's 0 for 2. Denise was 6 for 6 from the free throw line in the game against New Haven, but now 0 for 2 from the line here this afternoon for the Dolphins. Dolphins have turned the ball over 12 times, and now Priolo goes 0 for 3 from the free throw line as the Dolphins' offensive struggles here continue in this first half. Dolphins now just 2 of 6. Or I should say 2 of 7 from the free throw line. Dolphins shooting 29% from the floor and 29% from the free throw line, and those are rarely numbers that you could be successful with, and Dolphins find themselves down by 12 as Jenna Abreu will go to the free throw line, as both teams now with 5 personals. Alvello out on the floor. DeMoncho with her first. That first free throw is up and in. That second free throw is good as well. So the Pioneers taking advantage of their free throw shooting opportunities. And they've opened up a 14-point lead, which is their biggest lead of the game, 30-16. As the Dolphins now being outscored 11-0, as that time Forster goes up, misses the shot, grabs a rebound. Her putback is no good, but she'll draw the foul. So neither team really shooting that well from the floor, but the Pioneers have been able to take advantage of 11 for 13 free throw shooting and 12 Dolphin turnovers, and they lead by 13 as Forster breaks that 11-0 run by hitting the first. Her second is up and in, so Deidre hits both of her free throws, and it's now a 30-18 game in favor of the Pioneers as we approach 4 minutes remaining in this first half. Giacchetti handing the ball off to Besso. Now Giordano looking to drive her way inside. Kicking the ball out to DeFrank. DeFrank's long jumper is up, no good. That ball will roll out of bounds. Last touch by the Pioneers. So it'll be Dolphin basketball with 3:46 remaining in this first half. DeMoncho with the basketball. DeMoncho looking to work now against DeFrank. Now it's Rogers. Rogers looking to fight her way inside. She lobs it over to Priolo. Priolo grabs the ball but cannot hold on to possession as the Dolphins turn it over, and the ball's going to be taken away by Besso. Giordano bringing the ball up across the midcourt line now for the Pioneers. They lob the ball inside now to Giacchetti. Back to Giordano. She tried to hand it back to Giacchetti, but instead it's going to be DeMoncho with the turnover for the Dolphins. DeMoncho over to Arvello. She gets the ball back now from Forster. She stops and pops. That's up no good as that ball will stick up in the rim, and it'll be a possession change. And it will be Joe Gopin. So we'll wait for one of the officials to come over and knock the ball out of the rim. And there we go. And it will be a possession arrow situation here as we have a couple of substitutions. Megan McEwen back into the game for Elena DeMoncho. Pioneers with substitutions as well. Dolphin basketball, 20 seconds to shoot. As the officials coming over and discussing it. Last year, that would have been 30 seconds to shoot, but the new rule just gives the team that maintains possession in the front court 20 seconds on the shot clock. McEwen lobbing the ball out over in the corner, driving inside is Priolo. Her shot is up, no good. Foster looking to grab the rebound, and she's able to get the ball out to Rogers. Rogers, bounce pass, gets out over to Arvello. Her shot rolls it around the basket, no good. Foster there to grab the rebound. Her putback is no good. And the rebound grabbed by Abreu. Now Giordano with the basketball. Giordano looking to feed the ball inside to McBride, who's able to lay it up and in. 32-18. Pioneers match their biggest lead of the game. It's 14. That ball's going to be knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Pioneers, so it'll remain Dolphin basketball with 21 seconds on the shot clock. Priolo gets the ball into Rogers. And we're going to have a whistle, and it's going to be an offensive foul. As that foul is going to be on Forster as she commits her first. Both teams over the limit, but on the offensive foul, the Pioneers will take possession. Abreu. Now Giordano. Giordano tried to pass that one inside. Dolphins knock it away, but can't maintain control. Now Besso losing control of the basketball, and we're going to have a whistle and a jump ball, and this time the possession arrow will go to the Pioneers. William Paterson in the middle of a 13-2 run, and they lead by 14, 32-18, with a minute 41 remaining in the first half. The shot clock reset to 30 as the Pioneers with the basketball. They lob the ball out to Eltling. Now Abreu, and we're going to have a whistle and a travel called on the Pioneers. So the Pioneers with a couple of back-to-back turnovers. They're only their fifth of the game. They've had two in the last couple of minutes, though. And now the Dolphins look to break through the Pioneer press. Forster, the long jumpers off the rim, no good. Rebound grabbed there by McEwen. Her floater in the lane is up, no good. Fight for possession, and McEwen able to come away with it. A lot of contact inside, and we're going to have a whistle and a jump ball possession, I believe. And this time, the possession arrow will go to the Dolphins with a minute 22 remaining in this first half and 20 seconds put on the shot clock for the Dolphins. And they're going to actually wind the shot clock down to 14. So the Dolphins will inbound with 14 on the shot clock and a minute 22 remaining here in the first half. Forster. Now it's McEwen with the basketball. 8 seconds to shoot for the Dolphins. McEwen. Bounce pass over to Forster with 5. Now it's Rogers looking to work her way inside. And we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the play, as I believe that will be on Jenna Abreu. Both teams over the limit, so regardless of who the foul's on, Jada Rogers will go to the free throw line. It's actually going to be on Besso, so Besso will pick up her first. As Rogers' first free throw rolls around the rim and in. Jada now 3 of 4 from the line. Her second free throw is up and no good. So the Dolphins split the pair and find themselves down now 32-19 as we approach 1 minute remaining in this first half. They work the ball inside now to McBride. Nice hands that time as Arvello able to come over with the steal. Now it's McEwen with the basketball. McEwen, DeMontro in the corner now over to Rogers. Rogers with the jumper from the baseline. It's good. Jada Rogers now leading all Dolphin scores with 7. And the Dolphins have cut the lead down now to 32-21. 30 seconds remaining here in this first half. Besso with the basketball. She hands the ball off. They look to get the ball inside. But now the Pioneers turning the ball over 3 times here in the last couple of minutes. And the Dolphins will have possession of the basketball. The shot clock off with 22.8 seconds remaining here in the first half. Foster with the basketball. They're handing the ball off now to Arvello. Arvello, now DeMontro with the basketball. Inside of 10 seconds remaining as McEwen backs the ball out with 6 seconds on the shot clock. McEwen looking to use the Foster pick. McEwen works her way inside. The floater in the lane is no good, and that's going to do it. So the Dolphins able to come back and cut down a deficit that has been as many as 14 down to 11 as we go into halftime. So we're at halftime now with the score. The College of Staten Island 32, CSI 21. So why don't we step aside, take a break here for a couple of minutes, and we'll be back to get you halftime statistics and get you ready for the start of the second half as we're at halftime now. Dolphins trail the Pioneers by a score of 32-21. We'll step aside, take a break. You're watching women's basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way.
We're back here at halftime where the College of Staten Island trails by a score of 32-21, and we're very pleased to be joined by head women's basketball coach Nicole Salcone. Coach, the team struggled with their shooting a little bit in the first half. What do you do to get back on track in half number 2?
Job of handling the ball, be it breaking their press and being more confident. They're dictating the entire pace of the game right now on both ends of the floor, and it really isn't fun.
Coach, the team turned the ball over 13 times in that first half. I guess that's what you'll be working on here at halftime.
Yep, we've been working on press breaks for the past week and a half, and we just don't execute. And they're dictating us. They're taking us out of our offense, and we're not confident enough with the ball in our hands right now, and that's a shame because we have 3-point guards on the floor.
Thanks for coming over and joining us.
Thank you.
That was head women's basketball coach Nicole Salcone, nice enough to come over and join us here at halftime where the College of Staten Island trails by a score of 32-21. So now we'll step aside, take a break, and we'll get you back here and get you some halftime statistics and get you ready for the start of the second half as you're watching women's basketball coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook. And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range.
We're back here at halftime where the College of Staten Island trails William Paterson by a score of 32-21. Looking at the first half statistics, the Pioneers shot 26.3% from the floor, 5 of 19. The Dolphins were 7 of 31. The Pioneers were 9 of 34. So both teams struggling shooting from the floor. Pioneers 3 of 10 from the three-point line. The Dolphins 2 of 10. But the big difference on the free throw line where the Pioneers hit 11 of their 13 free throws. The Dolphins just hit 5 of their 11 free throws in half number one. The rebounding statistics, 29-23, they favor the Dolphins. The turnover department, the Dolphins with 13 turnovers in that first half compared with just 7 for the Pioneers. Looking at the foul totals in the first half, we had a lot of fouls that were called on both teams. The Dolphins with 9 personal fouls, the Pioneers with 14. 2 players with 2 personal fouls for the Dolphins. That would be Diana Tadero, who picked up her 2 personals in just 3 minutes of play in that first half. Kayla Schmitter picked up 2 personals in her 11 minutes of play. And Dolphins really need to find a way to keep both of those players out on the floor. Jada Rogers, the only really effective offensive player from the floor for the Dolphins in the first half. She shot 3 of 4 from the field. The remaining Dolphins were just 4 of 27 in that first half. Leading scores for the Dolphins, 7 points for Jada Rogers, 4 points apiece for Megan McEwen and Deidre Forster. On the Pioneer side, they were led by Madison Delude. She finished with 10 points on 4 of 10 shooting, including 2 of 4 from the three-point line. 7 points in that first half for Yakira Rosa and 6 points for Allison McBride. And looking at the personals for the Pioneers, 3 on Madison Delude, 2 apiece on Brianna Brooks and Yakira Rosa. So we're about 5 minutes or so away from the start of the third quarter. We'll step aside, take a break, and then we'll be back to bring you third quarter action here from the tank at the College of Staten Island. The Dolphins trailing by a score of 32-21 as you're watching women's basketball coverage exclusively on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
The smallest moments
can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge.
We're back as we're still at halftime. The College of Staten Island trailing by a score of 32-21. This is the home opener for the College of Staten Island as their season got underway last Saturday afternoon against New Haven, where the College of Staten Island dropped a 68-57 game. The Dolphins will be back in action this Sunday afternoon, traveling up to southern New Hampshire, a doubleheader where the women will face off against southern New Hampshire in game number 1, and then the men will be back in action for game number 2. The men traveling down to Florida, they'll have games on Wednesday and Thursday this week, and they'll be back home for action on November 20th. That will be the men's home opener, a game that we will bring to you right here on CSI Sportsnet. For the women's team here this afternoon, they're really looking for some of the same answers they were looking for after their game on Saturday. They need to find a way to work their offense a little bit better and shoot the ball a little bit better. Nicole Sarcone was nice enough to join us here at halftime to discuss this first half, and you could see a little bit of frustration with the Dolphin turnovers. 26 in game number 1 against New Haven on Saturday afternoon, and already for the Dolphins here this afternoon, they've turned the ball over 13 times compared to just 7 with the Pioneers, and 3 of those 7 Pioneer turnovers really occurred in the last couple of minutes of the second quarter. So up until that point, William Paterson had done a really good job protecting the basketball, and they're going to be looking to do more of that here in the second half. For the Dolphins, they need to find a way to try to shoot the basketball a little bit better. They're coming off of a 28% shooting effort on Saturday, 14 of 50. And here so far in the first half, they've actually struggled a little bit more from the field, going just 7 of 31. That's just 22.6% in the game so far. So Dolphins are going to look to bounce back and cut into that deficit. The Dolphins trailed by this one by as many as 10 early. They fell behind by a score of 17-7. Dolphins were able to work their way back into the game and go on a 9-2 run to make it a 19-16 game. But then the Pioneers were able to respond and open their lead up to as many as 14, as they were able to go on a 13-2 run to open their lead up to 32-18, and then the Dolphins able to close with the last 3 points of the first half to make it an 11-point game. So that's where we are at halftime. Dolphins trail by a score of 32-21. And it'll be the Pioneers to inbound the basketball here to start this second half. So Rosa to inbound, and she gets the ball to Giordano and runs away here at half number 2. Giordano looking to work against Arvello. She now gets the ball out over to Soriano, who's working against Schmitter, who's back into the game. Pioneers working the ball around the corner, and now it's Rosa at the three-point line to Giordano. Inside of 10 seconds to shoot. Giordano over to DeFrank. Now it's Soriano with 4. Soriano drives down the lane. Nice job by Schmitter to knock that ball away. It's going to be last touch by the Pioneers, so it will be Dolphin basketball. Good defensive start for the Dolphins here at half number 2. Moylan to inbound the ball to McEwen, and she'll get the ball over to Arvello as the Dolphins able to break the press, and we're going to have a kick ball called on Bianca Soriano, so it will be Dolphin basketball. That was a good play by Soriano because Schmitter was open underneath the basket, but now the Dolphins forced to inbound with 23 seconds on the shot clock. Moylan out over to McEwen. Now back up over to Moylan. Now it's Arvello. 13 seconds to shoot now for the Dolphins. Schmitter back out over to McEwen. Now it's Schmitter. Her jumper from the top of the key is short. Ball tipped by Rogers. Now fed back nicely by Moylan to McEwen, who lays it up and in. So the Dolphins get the first basket of this second half, and they cut the Pioneer lead down to 9. Soriano spinning inside against Schmitter and lays it up and in. Nice move that time by Bianca Soriano. She gets her first basket of the game, and that makes it a 34-23 Pioneer lead. Rogers draws the foul outside, as that's going to be a foul on Bianca Brooks. Bianca can't believe it, as she picks up her third personal early here in the second half, and she might be forced to go to the bench early. Bianca just played 5 minutes in that first half with 2 personals and picks up a quick third here for the Pioneers. Arvello. Now it's Rogers. Rogers using the Schmitter pick, now feeds it up over to Arvello. Her long three-pointer is up, no good. And a nice job backing out that time by the Pioneers as they hand the ball to Giordano. Giordano passes it out over to Rosa. Rosa. DeFrank to Soriano, and now Giordano will come up to pick out the basketball. Inside of 8 seconds to shoot now for the Pioneers. Soriano, now Giordano with 4. Giordano feeds it back to Soriano. Her short jumper is up, no good, but the Pioneers able to grab the offensive rebound. The putback blocked nicely by Schmitter, and now the Dolphins with the basketball, but the pass to McEwen is going to be stolen away by Giordano, and here comes the Pioneers as Rosa with the jumper. That's no good. Rogers grabs the rebound. Here come the Dolphins looking to run. Pioneers get back to make it a 2-on-2. McEwen misses the jumper, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the Dolphins. It'll be a loose ball foul, and I believe that will be on Kayla Schmitter. If it is, that will be the third for Schmitter. It will be. And now she's going to have to check out of the game, and Diana Tadero, who picked up 2 personals in 3 minutes, is back into the game now for the Dolphins. So Schmitter forced to the bench with 3 personals as she picks up her third, 2.5 minutes into quarter number 3. Rosa with the basketball. Soriano working the ball out over to DeFrank. Pioneers working the ball around quickly. It's fed now inside to Abreu. She misses the layup, but the Dolphins' outlet pass is going to be stolen by DeFrank as the Dolphins turned it over once again, and that time Tadero is able to draw the charge. Beautiful play that time by Diana Tadero as she draws the charge, and it'll be Dolphin basketball off the turnover as that foul is going to be on Jenna Abreu. That will be her second and the team's second. Dolphins to inbound now as she gets the ball into Rogers. Rosa nearly picked that ball off, but Rogers able to maintain possession. Rogers trying to force her way inside, but she turns the ball over. Abreu, now DeFrank. DeFrank feeding it out over to Eltling. The layup is up, no good. Dolphins able to grab the rebound, but once again turn the ball over off the pass. That shot is no good, but the rebound grab by the Pioneers. Fight for possession of the basketball. Soriano now working the ball out over to Rosa. The long jumper is going to be an air ball. Soriano going for possession, able to keep it in. And the off-balance jumper is up, no good. But once again, the Dolphins cannot grab the rebound, as that's going to be Elkling with the rebound. So Dolphins struggling a little bit rebounding the basketball so far here in quarter number 3. Feed inside to Soriano. It's going to be knocked away. Last touched by the Pioneers, so it will be Dolphin basketball. So we're going to have a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here as both teams with just a single basket here in this second half. And, you know, looking at the statistics, Dolphins now up to 17 turnovers here in the third quarter. 4 turnovers for the Dolphins here in 4 minutes here in quarter number 3. And, that's something that the Dolphins really have been struggling with. Just 1 of 4 from the field here in the third quarter. But the Pioneers just 1 of 10 in the third quarter. So both teams really struggling with their shooting here in this third quarter. 4 offensive rebounds for the Pioneers as well, as that is a terrible pass that time by Moylan as the Dolphins turn the ball over once again. Their fifth turnover here in the third quarter. Eltling with the basketball. Now it's DeFrank. DeFrank working the ball back up over to Eltling. They work the ball inside. That shot by Abreu is no good, and here comes Tadero looking to run. Tadero bounce pass to Rogers. She drives her way inside, and we're going to have a whistle and an offensive foul. So Rogers is going to pick up the foul. That's going to be her second, the team's second. So off of another Dolphin turnover, it will be Pioneer basketball. 6th turnover for the Dolphins here in this third quarter. 19 turnovers for the Dolphins so far here this afternoon. That shot is up, no good. We're going to have a whistle, and it will remain Pioneer basketball. So the Pioneers with the basketball. As that pass inside is going to be stolen away, and now McEwen comes away with the ball for the Dolphins. Megan. Bounce pass out to Moylan. Moylan now working it over to Arvello. Now Rogers trying to drive baseline. Her floater in the lane is up, no good. Tadero does a nice job fighting for the rebound, kicking the ball out for the open three-pointer, and McEwen is good. Big three-pointer for Megan McEwen, and that cuts the Pioneer lead down to 8 with 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Eltling stops and pops. That's going to be an air ball. Ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Dolphin basketball. With 4:23 remaining in the game, as Allison McBride will check back into the game now for the Pioneers. As the Pioneers trying to get a little more size out onto the floor. As the Dolphins have worked the lead back down to 8. McEwen now over to Rogers. Feed the ball fed inside to Tadero. That's going to be blocked and knocked out of bounds, but it will remain Dolphin basketball. Feed inside to McEwen. She's hammering on the play, and she'll go to the free throw line. That foul is going to be on Giordano, and for Alyssa, that's going to be her second, team's third, and McEwen will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Her first free throw is up and in. One more upcoming. 10 points for Megan so far tonight. A second is up and in, so she now has 11, leading the Dolphins in scoring. And just like that, the Dolphins have been able to cut the lead down to 6, 34-28. As the Dolphins now are in the middle of a 5-0 run. Eltling with the basketball. Eltling driving inside to Tadero, and for the second time in the last couple of minutes, Tadero draws the offensive foul. Beautiful play that time by Diana, and that will give Dolphins possession of the basketball. Just under 4 minutes remaining in this third quarter, and the Dolphins have cut the lead down to 6. Big turnover there for the Dolphins. Giordano's floater in the lane is good. So Alyssa Giordano off of the Dolphin turnover, able to open up the lead back to 8, and now the Dolphins turn it over again as McEwen commits the double dribble, and the Dolphins now with back-to-back turnovers, and it'll be Pioneer basketball. So the Pioneers now with the ball as they feed it to McBride. McBride now to Soriano, and now Soriano is going to get called for the turnover. So the teams exchange turnovers, and it will be Dolphin possession. 21-13 now, the turnover battle. Dolphins leading that one, not one they want to lead, as they've committed 21 through less than 3 quarters. Rogers, beautiful move down the lane, and floats it up and in. So the Dolphins continue to bounce back now in the middle of a 7-0 run to make it a 4-point game as Giordano able to drive down the lane and break up that 7-0 Dolphin run. And we're going to have a whistle and a foul. So Rogers will go to the line to shoot 2, as that foul is going to be on Brooks. And now Brooks has 4, and she'll have to go to the bench. And Rogers will go to the free throw line. Her first free throw is up and in. One more free throw upcoming here. Rogers now 4 of 6 from the line. Make that 4 of 7 as Soriano grabs the rebound. And the Dolphins trail by 7, 38-31, with under 3 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. DeFrank with the basketball. Now it's Giordano guarded by Rogers out by the three-point line. Giordano floats away inside, lays it up and in, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the play, and I believe that's going to be an offensive foul. It will be, as that time Moylan did a nice job to draw the offensive foul. And just like that now, Giordano picks up her third personal as well. Pioneers now over the limit with 2:45 remaining here in the third quarter. McEwen working the ball out over to Moylan. Moylan tried to bounce that one inside, but no Dolphin home. Big turnover there by the Dolphins, and that will give the Pioneers possession of the basketball. Giordano to inbound, pressed there by Rogers. She's able to get the ball into Rosa. Now Giordano working the ball out over to DeFrank, and now it's fed inside, that time to McBride. She can't hit the shot. 2 Dolphins break ahead into the field as McEwen able to lay it up and in. So that time the Dolphins got 2 players ahead of the field. McEwen laid it up and in. And it's now a 5-point game with 2:13 remaining. But now McBride able to lay it up and in as the Dolphins don't get back on defense. And it's now a 7-point game. McEwen with the basketball. McEwen working against Giordano. Bounce pass goes out over to Rogers. Now McEwen out at the three-point line, 15 to shoot. McEwen, a wild one-hander in the lane, is no good. Soriano grabs the rebound, but what a job by McEwen to rip it out of her hands. She misses the shot, but draws the foul. Nice job that time by Megan McEwen, as the foul will be picked up by Bianca Soriano. As Soriano picks up her second, the Pioneers over the foul limit, so that'll lead to 2 free throws now for Megan McEwen. McEwen 4 of 4 from the free throw line so far, and her first free throw is up and in. She's now gotten 17 points from the free throw line this year. She now has 14. Her second free throw is up and in as McEwen now starting to get automatic from the free throw line, and that's going to make it a 5-point game with 1:48 remaining here in the quarter, as Soriano will check out of the game for the Pioneers. Giordano to inbound. Gets the ball out over to Rosa. Now Giordano back to Rosa as they exchange passes and get the ball across the midcourt line with 20 seconds to shoot. Giordano has the ball knocked away beautifully that time by McEwen. And now it's going to be Arvello with the basketball. Now Rogers. Rogers' pass nearly stolen away. It's going to be off the hands of McEwen. And the Dolphins turn the ball over. So the Dolphins presented with an opportunity there to make it a one-possession game. But they turn the ball over now, so it'll be Pioneer basketball with 1:20 remaining here in the third quarter. DeFrank with the basketball, working against Rogers. Giordano puts up the long three-pointer, and it's good. Big three-point basket that time by Alyssa Giordano, the senior guard for William Paterson, to make it an 8-point game, 43-35. McEwen with the basketball. McEwen driving through, gets it over to Arvello. Her three-pointer is up, no good, and the rebound grabbed by Rosa. Rosa now to Giordano. Giordano's floater in the lane, that's up, no good. Tadero able to grab the rebound, but I believe she was stepping on the end line, so it will remain Pioneer basketball. Fresh 30-second shot clock, 43.5 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Giordano inside to McBride. McBride posting up the smaller Tadero, but can't hit the shot. That pass nearly stolen away. A little bit too easy on the lob pass. So the Dolphins fortunate to maintain possession. 27 on the shot clock. 36.1 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Arvello able to work past DeFrank, and she's going to be fouled, and that's going to put Christina Arvello on the free throw line to shoot two. So not the kind of foul you're looking for if you're head coach Aaron Monahan, as that's going to send Arvello to the free throw line to shoot two. Christina's first free throw is up and in. She'll have one more upcoming. That's her first free throw of the afternoon. And she now has four. Her second free throw is up. It rolls around the rim. No good. And now we're going to have a whistle and a loose ball foul on Tadero. And, you know, you love the hustle there by Diana, but you hate to see her pick up her third personal foul on this side of the court with 31.9 seconds remaining in the third quarter. So now Tadero has three personals for the Dolphins, and the Pioneers will inbound the basketball, a 1.9 second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Rosa with the basketball. As Rosa brings the ball up the midcourt line, guarded there by Rogers, she gets it over to Giordano. Giordano looking to work against Arvello as she gets the ball out over to Rosa. Now it's DeFrank. DeFrank looking to feed the ball inside. A careless pass, and that will give the Dolphins an opportunity for the final possession with 10.8 seconds remaining here in the third quarter, and the Dolphins down by 6. Or I should say 7, 43-36. So now it looks like the Pioneers inbound in the basketball. I thought it was white basketball for the Dolphins, but we'll let the officials sort it out on the floor. 10.8 seconds remaining here in quarter number 3 as the official will walk over to the scorer's table and let the table and the coaches know what's going on. Is the official giving an explanation now to head coach Nicole Sarcone as to why the ball will remain in possession to the Pioneers. With 10.8 seconds remaining, the Dolphins have cut the deficit down to 7. They've cut it down to as few as 4 here in this third quarter, but that's as close as they've been able to get. So the officials still discussing it I'm not sure if we're having a clock adjustment or, yes, we are. The shot clock had to be reset because there was a differential between the game clock and the shot clock, and that ball did not hit the rim. As that bounce pass goes inside, that time a wild shot taken by DeFrank. That's no good. Rogers able to come up and grab the ball, and, you know, once again, the Pioneers committing a foul deep in the backcourt, and Pioneers giving the Dolphins a couple of opportunities with 4.2 seconds remaining in the quarter. It would have been very difficult for the Dolphins to get the ball down the floor, but instead we're going to have a huge foul called on Madison Dulude. She now picks up her fourth. Dulude and Brooks both with 4 personals, and that's going to put Megan McEwen on the free throw line, where she's been virtually automatic so far here in this 2019 season. She's 6 of 6 from the line here this afternoon, and she went 11 of 12 from the line. She's now 17 of 18 from the free throw line in 2019. As McEwen hits the first, she'll have one more upcoming, as she'll have an opportunity to cut the William Paterson lead down to 4. Or 5, I should say. As that free throw is up, no good. So it's going to go out of bounds. It will be Pioneer basketball, 4.2 seconds remaining. Not sure how no time ran off the clock if the ball was tipped on the floor for a rebound with 4.2 seconds remaining. Let's see if there's an adjustment made to the game clock. There will be. 3.9 seconds remaining, and now the Pioneers will look to see if they can inbound the basketball. They get it to Rosa, over to Giordano as she gets that shot up with 1 second remaining, and that's going to count. And boy, oh boy, that seemed like a long couple of seconds, but Giordano able to bury the three-pointer, and it looks like the officials might come over to look at the replay here. The officials out on the floor called it good, and if that basket were to count, it would be a 46-37 lead for William Paterson going into the fourth quarter, as the officials will come over and take a look at it here at the replay table. Joe Cusimano bringing up the replay here for the officials, and we'll just wait for the call. But, you know, you watch the ball get inbounded, and you know, there was just a little over 3 seconds remaining in the game as the ball gets inbounded on the play, and we'll have the officials come over and take a look at it. As we're trying to look at it with them as the ball is inbounded. And it's really hard to see, but it does look like there's a 1/10 of a second on the clock, and really couldn't see the light come on behind the basket, so I'm not sure if the light went on before the shot left her hand, but I have a feeling there's not going to be any conclusive review anyway. So by that virtue alone, and the fact that the officials called it a basket on the floor, that basket will count. What a huge basket that time by Alyssa Giordano. The Dolphins had cut the lead down to 6, and now it's a 9-point lead. It's a 46-37 lead. 10 minutes remaining, as you had an opportunity to see replay in action. The lack of conclusive proof, of course, will lead to the basket counting. Huge basket by the Pioneers. The Dolphins had an opportunity to cut the lead down to 5, but McEwen couldn't make the second free throw. And then a nice job by Alyssa Giordano to bury that three-point shot and give William Paterson a 9-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. It will be Dolphin basketball. Arvello now getting the ball out over to Rogers. Rogers bounce pass goes out over to McEwen. McEwen bounce pass over to Arvello. Arvello's long three-pointer, that's up no good. And the rebound grab there by Abreu, and we're going to have a whistle and an early foul called. And that foul will be on the Dolphins. And that's going to be on Tadero, and for Tadero, that's going to be her fourth personal. We mentioned earlier that she fouled out of the game on Saturday in just 15 minutes of play. And looking here at the minutes for Diana here this afternoon, 4 fouls in 10 minutes. So Diana needs to find a way to be able to stay out on the floor as that pass is lobbed inside. The turnaround shot put up that time by Abreu was up no good. but the Pioneers control the rebound, just 5 seconds to shoot. As that ball, I don't believe, hit the rim, but the officials blew the whistle, so it looks like the Pioneers will have to inbound with 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Elting to inbound the basketball, gets it up to Giordano. Giordano looks defeated inside. Elting with the tough shot. That's up, no good. Rogers there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins and feed it to McEwen. McEwen trying to drive her way inside. That shot's up, no good. A fight for the rebound, and we'll have a jump ball. And the possession arrow will go to William Paterson. So we're 1 minute into quarter number 4, and the Pioneers holding on to a 9-point lead, 46-37. Elting with the basketball, now works the ball out over to Abreu. Abreu feeds it over to DeFrank, and now it's Giordano with 15 seconds to shoot. Elting, between the legs dribble, picks up a dribble. Now the Pioneers down to 5. Giordano. Now Elting with 2, but she's going to get called for the travel as that time Jakayla traveling before putting the ball on the floor. So it'll be a turnover in Dolphin basketball with 8:28 remaining. Arvello bringing the ball up the floor against Giordano. Bounce pass now over to Rogers. Rogers using the Schmitter pick, puts up the jumper. That's up no good. Tadero, a beautiful job to grab the rebound. Her putback is up no good. Tadero, a nice job to keep the ball around and now feed it to Schmitter. Schmitter out over to Rogers. Now feeds it back to McEwen as the Dolphins still with 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. McEwen driving all the way inside, feeds it to Tadero. It'll be knocked out of bounds. So it'll remain Dolphin basketball with 6 seconds to shoot. 2 minutes and 6 seconds into this fourth quarter. Neither team with a point so far in quarter number 4. Six seconds remaining on the shot clock here for the Dolphins. As Rogers gets it over to McEwen. McEwen drives her way inside. That shot is blocked. The run-hander by Schmitter off the rim, no good. And the rebound grabbed there by DeFrank. Elting. And that time Soriano got pushed from behind. And we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the play. So that foul is going to be on Rogers. That's going to be her third, the team's second. And the Pioneers will inbound the basketball as both teams looking to get on the scoreboard here in the fourth quarter. Soriano spinning away inside. A floater is up, no good. Schmitter grabs the rebound and feeds it out to Rogers, and she's going to be fouled from behind. So that foul is going to be on Akira Rosa. That's going to be her first, team's third. So we're going to have a 30-second timeout. So why don't we keep it right here with the Dolphins trailing by 9 going into the fourth quarter. And here in quarter number 4, both teams really struggling to find a way to be able to put points up on the board. Neither team has been able to do so. As we take a look here at some of the fourth quarter stats here, both teams 0 for 1 from the field. Both teams have really struggled to get the ball here in the basket. It's been a low-scoring game. The Dolphins with just 37 points so far here through a little bit over 3 quarters. And, you know, in the game on Saturday, they just scored 57 points. This is a Dolphin team that, you know, we mentioned earlier, averaged over 66 points a game and, you know, struggled to score a little bit at the end of last season. And their scoring struggles have continued so far here through 3 quarters of game number 1, as that pass is going to be stolen away once again by Rosa as the Dolphins continue to turn the ball over here in this game as they feed the ball inside to Abreu, who's able to lay it up and in. That's the first basket here in quarter number 4, and it's a big one because William Paterson now has opened up an 11-point lead once again, as the Dolphins now will inbound the ball with 23 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Arvello with the basketball. Now McEwen. McEwen feeds the ball out over to Tadero. Now it's Arvello. She stops and pops from the three-point line. That's up no good. Ball's going to be tipped out of bounds that time by Abreu. Last touch by the Pioneers, so it will be Dolphin basketball. And you can see up on your screen that 20 seconds going up on the shot clock. That's one of the new rules that have taken place here in this 2019-20 season, as those shots, fouls and change of possession now will lead to 20-second shot clocks instead of 30. And we got to thank John Levinson, one of the directors of officials, coming over to the table and not only telling us about these rules, but shooting us a email that has them all for us, and we'll be able to go into detail with them for you on the next broadcast. As Diana Tadero is going to go to the free throw line here for the Dolphins. Diana looking for her first points of the afternoon. As she hits the first, she'll have one more upcoming, as the Dolphins have cut the deficit down to 10. Diana shot 63% from the free throw line last year and hits them both. And that's going to cut the Dolphin deficit down to 9, 48-39, as Giordano brings the ball up the floor now for the Dolphins. For the Pioneers, I should say. Now Soriano. Soriano working the ball out over to DeFrank. Now back up over to Rosa. Her long three-pointer is good. Two big three-pointers for the Pioneers. One to end the third quarter. And there's a big free three-pointer for DeRosa to open up the Pioneer lead back to 12. McEwen working the ball up over to Moylan. Her three-pointer is no good, but Tadero there to grab the rebound. Bounce pass up over to McEwen. Her spinner in the lane is good. McEwen leading all scorers now with 18, and that cuts the Dolphin deficit down to 10 once again, 51-41. Giordano's pass inside is knocked away beautifully by Tadero. Now DeMoncho, her lob pass too far ahead of everybody, so nice hustle play by Tadero to force a turnover, but the Dolphins turn the ball right back over. Dolphins now with 25 turnovers on the afternoon. This is a team that averaged just under 19 turnovers a game last year, but have struggled with the turnovers so far this year. 26 in their first game, and already 26 here in game number 2. That's a lot of turnovers and makes it very difficult, as we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the Dolphins. That will be on DeMontre. That will be her second, the team's third, as the Pioneers to inbound the basketball. But first we'll have a substitution for the Dolphins, as Denise Priolo will check into the game for CSI. Giordano looking to inbound the basketball, and that pass is knocked away beautifully by Rogers. Back to Tadeo, who feeds it over to Rogers. Rogers driving down the lane, lays it up and in, and draws the foul. Nice move that time by Jada, as she took the ball aggressively to the basket, was able to lay it up and in and draw the foul. So that foul is going to be called on DeFrank. It's the third team foul on the Pioneers, as Rogers goes to the free throw line, hits the free throw, and off the three-point play, the Dolphins are now in the middle of a 5-0 run to make it a 7-point game. Giordano kicking the ball out. The baseline jumper is an air ball. Rogers there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins. Rogers to McEwen. Inside now to Tadero. Tadero thought about the turnaround jumper, kicks it back to Moylan. Moylan's open three-pointer is good. Torrey Moylan with the three-pointer, and the Dolphin deficit is down to 4, 51-47. Soriano with the basketball. Bounce pass now goes out over to Abreu. Now it's Rosa with the basketball. Rosa behind the three-point line, feeds it to Giordano. She puts up the three-pointer. That's no good. And Tadero there to grab another rebound for the Dolphins. Dolphins can make it a one-possession game. McEwen spinning inside and lays it up and in. Megan McEwen with the basket. 51-49. Dolphins now down by 2. Dolphins in the middle of a 10-0 run. Giordano picks up a dribble. Now feeds it out over to Abreu. Abreu guarded by Tadero. Now it's DeFrank with the basketball. DeFrank over to Giordano. 8 seconds to shoot. Rosa might have gotten away with a travel there. Now kicks it up over to DeFrank. In the corner to Soriano. A baseline jumper is up. No good. Rebound grab by Tadero. She looks to feed the ball ahead of the field that time to Priolo, but the Dolphins turn it over. Big turnover there by the Dolphins. Giordano with the basketball as she'll look to slow the ball down now. Giordano looking to work on Priolo. Now she passes the ball out over to DeFrank. DeFrank looked to get it to Soriano. Instead, she puts up the jumper. That's no good. A fight for the rebound. Tadero diving to the floor. Beautiful hustle play by Diana Tadero, and she's been in foul trouble all afternoon long, but in the last couple of minutes, she's really been all over the floor for the Dolphins, as we're going to have a couple of substitutions here for the Pioneers. They're going to bring back a little size. Brianna Brooks will check back into the game with 4 fouls, and Allison McBride will check back into the game. But first, we're going to have a timeout on the floor taken by the Dolphins. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, so we're going to keep it right here. And, you know, you look back just a couple of minutes in this game, and the Dolphins found themselves down by a score of 51-39, and you've really been struggling and turned the ball over a couple of times, but some nice hustle play by Diana Tadero, some big shots, a big three-pointer by Tori Moylan, and, you know, some other good defensive plays, and Megan McEwen now with 20 points in the game to lead all scorers, and all of a sudden the Dolphins, who were just down by 12, now find themselves just down a pair, as the Dolphins now will have an opportunity to inbound the basketball with 3 minutes and 27 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Rogers over to Moylan. Moylan pass over to Tadero. Tadero fighting away inside and lays it up and in, and the Dolphins have come all the way back to tie this game up at 51. That's the first tie since we were tied at 3. Giordano inside now to McBride. She works it back out on the perimeter. That shot's up, no good. And we're going to have a whistle and an offensive foul. Dolphins in the middle of a 12-0 run to tie this game up with 3:05 remaining, as that foul is going to be on Madison DeLude, who picked up a couple of tough personal fouls here in the third and fourth quarters. She's now fouled out of the game. Dolphin ball, 3:05 remaining. Throw it as for some reason, Rogers failed to throw the ball in. And on the 5-second violation, the Dolphins turn the ball over. A big turnover there for the Dolphins. Now it's the Pioneers inbounding the basketball. It's Giordano. Giordano looking to work off the screen. A pass inside is stolen away beautifully by Tadero. Tadero picks up the dribble, now hands the ball off to Rogers. Dolphins with an opportunity to take their first lead of the game. Rogers, now Moylan. Moylan working the ball out over to Priolo. McEwen now out over to Rogers. 10 seconds to shoot. Rogers fighting away inside. That shot's blocked away beautifully by the Pioneers. Fed down the floor now to Eltling, who lays it up and in. 53-51, Pioneers by 2. 2 minutes and 16 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. McEwen, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on William Paterson. That's going to be their 5th, and that's going to put Rogers to the free throw line with an opportunity to tie this game for the Dolphins. So Rogers to shoot 2. I didn't see who that foul was called against. As Rogers' first free throw is up and in, and the Dolphin deficit is down to 1, 53-52. Big fourth quarter here for the Dolphins. The second free throw by Rogers is up, no good. Big miss that time by Rogers. Pioneers with the basketball and a 1-point lead. Giordano, Eltling. Eltling feeds it inside beautifully that time to McBride, who lays it up and in. 55-52. Dolphins now trail by 3. McEwen with the basketball. McEwen works it out over in the corner. Beautiful move inside. That time by Priolo, who lays it up and in and makes it a 1-point game, 55-54. First basket of the game for Denise. Giordano with the basketball. Giordano working the ball out over in the corner now to Eltling. Eltling is going to pick up the offensive foul. Big play once again that time by the Dolphins, and that's going to give them possession of the basketball with an opportunity to take their first lead of the game. Down by 1, 90 seconds remaining in the game. As McEwen draws the foul in the backcourt, that's a big foul because Megan will now get an opportunity to tie or give the Dolphins a lead here. Dolphins are 15 of 24 from the free throw line here this afternoon. Megan 7 of 8. McEwen's first free throw is no good. She's now 7 of 9, but she's missed the last 2. One more free throw upcoming with an opportunity to tie up the game. McEwen misses them both, and the Dolphins still trail by 1 as Giordano with the basketball now for the Pioneers. Giordano now working the ball out over to Brooks. Brooks with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Now it's Giordano. Giordano, nice move to get all the way inside, but she can't hit the layup, but McBride is there to lay it up and in. Nice play that time by Allison McBride. She scored the last 2 baskets for the Pioneers. She now has 12, and the Pioneers with a 3-point lead, and now the Dolphins are going to take a timeout, and it's going to be a full timeout, so we'll keep it right here with 53.6 seconds remaining. So the Dolphins with an opportunity to tie this game up in this fourth quarter, and Megan McEwen, who's been essentially automatic from the free throw line, has missed her last 3 free throw attempts, and Allison McBride has been able to get 2 baskets inside for the Pioneers as the freshman now with 12 points for William Paterson. We're inside 1 minute remaining in the game, and the Dolphins find themselves now down by 3, 57-54. So big Dolphin turnover, and McEwen missing 3 of her 4 free throws, and the Dolphins find themselves down by 3, but they do have the basketball with just under 54 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Rogers on the floor along with Schmitter, Tadero, McEwen, and Moylan. As the Dolphins inbound the ball and get the ball to McEwen. As McEwen working against Eltling. Now it's Schmitter. Schmitter out by the 3-point line. They feed it out over to Moylan. Moylan thought about the 3-pointer, then forced it. It looked like it might have been deflected, and I believe it was, and it should remain Dolphin basketball as the officials talking it over. It will remain Dolphin basketball. They're going to have to reset the shot clock, and they've reset it to 9. Moylan with the basketball. Moylan lobbing the ball out to Rogers, and another big turnover there by the Dolphins. Let's see if the Dolphins can get a stop here, trailing by 3. And now McEwen is going to pick up the foul with 33.8 seconds remaining. But those turnovers have hurt the Dolphins all afternoon long, and that was a big one there. Another turnover for the Dolphins. Just trying to get you the updated stat total, and that's a 29th turnover for the Dolphins, as we're going to have a whistle and a foul on McEwen as she picks up her second, and that'll be the 15th foul on the Dolphins, and that's going to send Alyssa Giordano to the free throw line to shoot 2 here for the Pioneers. Giordano, a 74% free throw shooter last year, and she misses the first. And with 32.3 seconds remaining, Giordano will have one more free throw upcoming. Giordano's second free throw is up and in. That's a big one because that gives the Pioneers a 2-possession lead with 32.3 seconds remaining. And boy, Dolphins are going to look back at the closing stages of this fourth quarter and look at a couple of opportunities missed from the free throw line and a couple of big turnovers. And, we mentioned earlier 27 turnovers in the game on Saturday against New Haven and 29 turnovers today. All too many, way too many. And, for the Dolphins in the last 2 minutes, a couple of big turnovers and a couple of free throw misses have allowed the Pioneers to open their lead back up to 2 possessions, 58-54, with 32.3 seconds remaining in the game. So Schmidt will inbound the ball for the Dolphins. McEwen, Rogers, Tadero, and Avilio, the players out on the floor for CSI. Schmidt to inbound the basketball. Gets it up over to Arvello. Now it's Tadero. Tadero looking to fight away inside. Her layup rolls around the rim. No good. The ball tipped around and controlled beautifully by the Pioneers to keep that ball in play. McEwen will now foul Giordano, and now Giordano will go back to the free throw line. She has 11 points on the game already, and she will go to the free throw line with an opportunity to build on this 4-point William Paterson lead. Giordano 1 of 2 from the line. Now she's 2 of 3, and that makes it a 5-point game, 59-54. One more free throw upcoming here for the Pioneers. The second free throw by Giordano is up and in, so she hits them both. And the Pioneers now lead by 6 with 19.7 seconds remaining in the game. Tadero over to McEwen. McEwen looking to drive down the floor. Dolphins need 3-point baskets. Tadero nearly called for the travel, and now she's going to get called for the double dribble. So the Dolphins are going to drop their second in a row now, as they're going to fall to 0-2 as Tadero commits the 30th turnover of the afternoon for the Dolphins. And with 9.4 seconds remaining in the game, the Pioneers with an opportunity to make this a 3-possession game as McEwen picks up 3 fouls here in the last couple of minutes. She now has 4, and Giordano will go back to the free throw line. She's 3 of 4 here in the last 30 seconds or so. Her first free throw is up and in. It's now a 3-possession game, 61-54. One more upcoming for Giordano. She now has 13. The second free throw is good, and it's now an 8-point lead with 9.4 seconds remaining as it's Arvello with the basketball. Arvello behind the back dribble. Bella works it in the corner. The long three-pointer by Schmitter is up no good, and that's going to do it. The College of Staten Island will drop their 2019 home opener by a final score of 62-54. So Dolphins did a real good job coming back in this game. They tied it up for the first time since 3-3 at 51 apiece. They had an opportunity to tie the game up again at 53, but turnovers and missed free throws were enough to doom the Dolphins here in this second game of the season, as the Dolphins turned the ball over 30 times and were only able to shoot 17 of 58 from the floor, 29.3%, and 16 of 28 from the free throw line, 57%. And you combine that with the turnovers, and it adds up to a 4-point loss for the Dolphins, as they're going to drop to 0-2 here on the season. For the CSI women's basketball team, they will travel up to southern New Hampshire. They will play a game Sunday afternoon at 1:30 up in southern New Hampshire. For the men's basketball team, they're down in Florida. They will play 2 games, one tomorrow and one on Thursday in Fort Lauderdale and Miami, respectively. And then the Dolphins will also be at southern New Hampshire, as the men's team will play at about 3:30, and then the Dolphins men's basketball team will have their home opener right here at the CSI Tank, and that game will be on January 20th. So that's going to wrap things up here from the CSI Sports and Recreation Center. For Joe Cusimano, this is Mike Babusky saying so long and thanks for watching. Don't forget to join us for our next basketball broadcast, which will take place on November 20th, as the men's basketball team will face City Tech. Once again, the final score, the Dolphins dropped their home opener to William Paterson by a final score of 62-54. And don't forget to get all the latest information regarding everything on CSI Sports at csidolphins.com. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Good job, Joe.